They didn't expect it. They didn't see it coming. While they were looking elsewhere, you were quietly preparing, growing, evolving, and now the stage is set. The lights are shifting. The moment is near. And guess what? You, the one they overlooked, the one they doubted, the one they underestimated. You're about to steal the entire show. Every eye that once ignored you will soon be locked on your movement. Every voice that once doubted your presence will have no choice but to speak your name. Because chosen one, the curtain is rising, and your entrance will be unforgettable. This is not just another moment. It's the moment. And if this message found you, it's not by chance. It's a divine confirmation. You're stepping into a season where everything you carried in silence, every gift, every vision, every lesson forged through pain, is about to shine. Watch this video until the very end, because somewhere in this message is the key to unlock the next level of your destiny. And if you feel it in your spirit, take a deep breath and set your intention. Write your most heartfelt wish in the comments below, followed by 777 to seal that energy into the universe. Subscribe and become part of this growing circle of light. You are not just watching a video. You're stepping into alignment. You've been in the shadows long enough. You watched others take the spotlight, sometimes without the substance, without the preparation, without the depth. But you didn't complain. You didn't push your way forward. You waited. You worked. You listened. And most importantly, you trusted. You trusted that your time would come, even when the silence grew heavy. You stayed faithful to your craft, to your calling, to your quiet becoming. And now, that waiting is over. This is the part of your story where everything flips. This is the part where those who once whispered about you behind your back now talk about you with awe. You were never meant to fit in. You were designed to stand out, not through noise, but through undeniable presence. The kind of presence that shifts energy. The kind of presence that steals attention not because you demand it, but because you embody it. That's the real stage, where power meets humility, where purpose meets preparation. And you, chosen one, are about to step into that divine spotlight with such natural command that even the ones who try to write you off will be forced to rewrite everything they thought they knew. The journey here wasn't easy. You were skipped, silenced, sidelined. You were made to question your value. You were made to believe that maybe your time would never come. But all along, something deep inside you kept whispering, just wait. They have no idea what's coming. That whisper, that was your calling. That was your destiny humming under the surface, waiting for the exact moment to erupt. And now is that eruption. And it won't be chaotic. It'll be majestic. It'll be undeniable. Because nothing can stop what's meant to rise. People often think stealing the show means loud entrances, extravagant displays, or viral moments. But that's not your style. You steal the show by being real in a world full of performers. By being grounded when everyone else is grasping. By walking into a room and bringing peace, clarity, depth. You don't perform, you radiate. And that radiance, it's finally about to be seen. The doors that were once locked are now opening not because you begged, but because the vibration of your truth is too loud to be ignored. Let this part of your story be the reminder. Delay is not denial. Rejection is not reflection. Being hidden was not punishment. It was preparation. You weren't buried. You were planted. And now, it's time to bloom in front of the very people who didn't water you. It's time to speak without shouting, to move without rushing, to glow without dimming. And that's how you steal the entire show. Not by taking, but by becoming. Becoming everything they said you couldn't be. They may not have clapped for you in the beginning. They may have watched you from the sidelines, waiting for you to fail, waiting for you to fall apart under pressure. But you didn't. You endured. You pushed through. Not because it was easy, but because something inside you refused to give up. You knew deep down that your time would come. That one day, the silence would break. That one day, everything you've carried would finally have room to breathe. And that day, it's here. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now, the lights are coming on, and you're walking out from the wings into center stage. You've always been different. And for the longest time, that difference felt like a curse. It made you the outsider, the misunderstood one, the black sheep. But that very difference is now becoming your superpower. Your ability to see what others missed, to feel what others suppressed, to move through life with a deep inner compass when everyone else was following maps drawn by people who didn't know where they were going. That depth, that emotional intelligence, that spiritual radar, it's what makes you magnetic. It's why people are going to start leaning in when you speak. They won't even understand why. They'll just know they can't look away. You're not just stealing the show, you're resetting the stage. You're not just stepping into your moment, you're redefining what it means to shine. Because your shine isn't about ego, it's about alignment. You didn't come to impress, you came to impact. You didn't come to entertain, you came to awaken. And when a chosen one stands in their truth, the entire atmosphere shifts. That's what's happening now. The shift is already in motion. Doors are opening, eyes are watching. Energy is rearranging itself to make space for your rise. And still, you're not moved by the applause, because you've learned that applause fades. You're not here for the noise. You're here for the assignment. You're here to deliver what only you can deliver, to embody a purpose so unique, so personal, that no one else could do it the way you can. That's why you were rejected from certain rooms. That's why you were delayed. Because what you carry isn't meant for everyone. It's for the ones who are ready. The ones whose lives will be transformed by your presence, your voice, your vision. And now, those people are being drawn to you. Your audience is finding you, not because you chased them, but because your frequency called them. You never needed to compete. You never needed to beg. The show was always yours. They just didn't see it yet. But now they do. Slowly, inevitably, the realization is spreading. There's something about you. You feel different. I don't know what it is, but I can't stop watching. That's what happens when someone walks in divine timing. Everything about them becomes a mirror for what's real, a reminder of what's true. And people are starving for truth. They've seen enough filters. They've heard enough noise. They've followed enough performers. Now, they're looking for presence, for stillness, for depth, for you. And don't be surprised if people from your past start resurfacing. Not because they've changed, but because your light is now undeniable. They didn't support you in the shadows, but they'll try to claim you in the spotlight. Be wise, be kind, but don't be naive. This stage you're stepping onto isn't just for your visibility. It's for your discernment. It's to show you who can come with you and who can't. Because not everyone can handle the elevation. Not everyone can breathe the air at this level. And that's okay. Your rise isn't personal revenge. It's personal revelation. It's the world catching up to what your soul always knew. You were never meant to be background. You were meant to lead. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them say, how did this happen so fast? They won't know the years you spend in silence. They won't see the tears, the battles, the self-doubt, the nights you wanted to quit. But you'll know, you'll remember, and that memory will keep you humble. It will keep you focused. It will remind you that stealing the show was never about being flashy. It was about being faithful. And now, faithfulness is being rewarded. Quiet consistency is being crowned. This is your time. This is your moment. And you're going to own it, not because you have to, but because you were born for it. You don't steal the show by demanding attention. You do it by becoming the one they can't ignore. And that's exactly what's happening now. Your presence, your energy, your story, it's beginning to speak louder than any words ever could. You're no longer trying to prove yourself to people who refuse to see you. You're no longer explaining your worth to those who were committed to misunderstanding you. That version of you is gone, dead and buried. In its place stands someone reborn from silence, from waiting, from wilderness. You are not who you used to be, and that's what's shaking them to their core. You see, there's a weight to someone who rose quietly, someone who built their strength in isolation, someone who became whole in the absence of applause. That kind of strength cannot be faked. It can't be replicated, and it most certainly can't be ignored. That's why people are staring now. Not because you're suddenly visible, but because you become undeniable. You didn't just walk through fire, you became fire. You didn't just survive the silence, you turned it into strategy. And now that you're moving in purpose, Everything around you is bending to make room for what you carry. And what you carry is not just talent. It's not just brilliance. It's authority. The kind that only comes from walking through things most people don't talk about. The kind that makes you calm in chaos. The kind that lets you walk into any room and shift the energy without saying a word. That's the show-stopping power they never expected from you. They thought you'd always be small. They thought you'd always play the background. But you've been rehearsing in silence, and now, without warning, you've taken center stage. You're not just stepping into visibility. You're stepping into your legacy. The ripple effects of what you're doing now will go far beyond you. Your courage to rise, to speak, to lead, it's activating others. People are watching you, and they don't even know why they're so drawn to you. But it's not charisma, it's clarity. It's not popularity, it's purpose. You radiate authenticity, and that's what steals a show in a world built on illusion. That's why you're unforgettable. Because when someone finally sees you for who you truly are, they see something in themselves that they have forgotten: hope. And maybe that's the wildest part. You're not just stealing the show for you. You're doing it for every version of yourself that cried in the dark, for every time you were told to be realistic, for every door that closed in your face, for every person who saw your light and tried to dim it. This is your redemption arc, your full circle moment, and it's happening in plain sight. The same rooms that once ignored you are about to echo with your name. The same people who looked past you are now trying to get your attention. But you've changed. Your focus is different. You don't need the spotlight to feel validated. You carry your own. You no longer chase platforms. You build them. You no longer beg for support. You attract it. You realize that the show was never about lights or stages or status. It was always about presence. Authentic, grounded, deeply rooted presence. And now that you're walking in that energy, you're stealing the show not with noise, but with quiet conviction. Not with performance, but with truth. And truth, when fully embodied, is impossible to look away from. They may still try to downplay it. They may whisper things like, "They got lucky," or "It's just a phase." Let them talk, because while they're busy explaining your rise, you'll be busy expanding it. You're not here to argue with the past. You're here to build the future. One step, one moment, one breakthrough at a time. The show was never just a moment. It's a mission. And now that you've stepped into it fully, there's no turning back. This is the chapter where your confidence becomes contagious, where your silence speaks volumes, where your stillness becomes a storm. And as the world starts to notice, as the momentum builds, as your name spreads into places you've never been, remember, you didn't come to be famous. You came to be faithful. And it's that faithfulness that's now being rewarded, that presence that's now being revealed, that power that's now being felt. You become the storm they never saw coming. Not a storm that destroys, but one that awakens, one that clears the air, one that announces change without needing a single word. That's what happens when the chosen one stops hiding. You don't need to tear anything down. You don't need to prove anyone wrong. Your very presence does that for you. The way you carry yourself now, the calm in your voice, the stillness in your eyes, the certainty in your movements, it's louder than any speech. It's the kind of presence that changes the energy of an entire room before you even speak. That's why they're staring now. That's why they feel the need to whisper, to wonder, to speculate. They don't recognize you, and that's the point. You're not the version of yourself they remember, the version that played small to make others comfortable, the version that apologized for having vision, that hesitated before speaking truth, that shrunk in the presence of loud egos and shallow charisma. That version of you is gone. In its place stands someone who knows their worth so deeply, they no longer seek permission to exist in fullness. And yet, you're not arrogant. You're not forceful. You're simply aligned. And alignment is magnetic. It draws without effort. It captivates without intention. It commands without control. That's how you steal the show. Not by demanding the spotlight, but by becoming the light itself. You've merged with your mission. You've fused your pain with purpose. You've alchemized every rejection into refinement. And now, You are glowing with the kind of certainty that only comes from walking to the fire and refusing to come out anything less than transformed. It's intimidating to some, especially those who built their image on performance, on validation, on being seen rather than being real. Because what you carry now, it can't be bought, it can't be imitated, it can't be copied and pasted. It's raw, it's earned, it's sacred, and they feel it. Even if they never say it out loud, they feel the shift, the gravitational pull of someone walking in their full identity, the force of someone who no longer flinches at falsehood, who sees right through the noise and moves only when the spirit says move. You become unpredictable in the best way, unreadable to those who used to think they knew you, untouchable to those who used to take advantage of your kindness. Your discernment has become razor sharp. Your standards have risen. Your energy no longer tolerates anything misaligned. And that's why you're being elevated, not by the systems of this world, but by something greater, by divine timing, by universal orchestration. Every delay was part of the choreography, every detour a divine edit. And now the script is shifting, and you're stepping into the scene where everything starts to make sense. They thought you missed your moment. They thought you were too late, too soft, too silent. But they didn't realize you were never trying to catch up. You were letting the noise pass. You were letting the superficial shine first, so that when you arrived, truth would feel like thunder. And that's what it feels like now. Thunder, presence, authority, realness. Not perfection, but power. Not control, but command. And people are drawn to it, not because it's flashy, but because it's rare. That's the twist they never saw coming. That the one who was silent, forgotten, pushed aside will become the main act. And not because you fought your way to the front, but because you never left your path. You stayed true to your frequency. You protected your peace. You honored your process. And now, everything you've been quietly building is ready to speak for itself. Loudly, clearly, unapologetically. Let this moment remind you, no one can take what's yours when it was never theirs to begin with. You're not here to compete. You're not here to beg. You're here to embody, to live, to rise. And as you do, understand this. Some will cheer, others will retreat, and a few will resent. But none of it matters, because you didn't come to be accepted. You came to be activated. And now that you're walking in that divine energy, the show has officially begun, and you're the one everyone came to see. You're not just stepping into the spotlight. You're becoming the gravity, the one who doesn't just walk into a room, but recalibrates it. The atmosphere adjusts when you enter now, not because you asked for it, but because your frequency has changed. You become so aligned with your higher self that everything untrue becomes loud in your presence. Everything out of sync feels shaky next to your stillness. That's what real presence does. It doesn't scream. It doesn't announce itself. It simply is. And that being is what now steals the entire show. And maybe the most powerful part of all of this is you never needed the stage. The stage needed you. It just didn't realize it until now. For so long, the spotlight was pointed in the wrong direction. Focus on performance instead of purpose, on appearance instead of authenticity. But something has shifted in the collective. People are awakening. They're tired of surface. They're hungry for real. And you, chosen one, are the answer to that hunger. Not because you planned it, but because you lived it. You didn't chase this moment. You became it. That's why your rise feels so organic, so unstoppable. Because it's not manufactured, it's magnetized. It's not forced, it's flowing. All the pain you carried, all the inner work you did in silence, all the moments you showed up for yourself when no one else did, that's the foundation. And now, what's rising is built on truth. That kind of elevation cannot be undone. That kind of spotlight doesn't burn. It heals. And everyone who crosses your path can feel it, even if they don't have the words to explain it. But be mindful. With visibility comes volume. Not just applause, but opinions. Not just admiration, but projection. As you continue to rise, there will be those who try to analyze, label, or misunderstand what you're doing. Let them. You're no longer in the business of explaining yourself. Your fruit speaks for you. Your energy speaks louder than your defense. And the people who are truly meant for you, They don't need convincing, they resonate. They don't ask you to dim, they reflect your glow. You've entered the phase where you don't chase momentum, you set it. You don't try to go viral, you become vital. Your presence alone becomes the blueprint, and others will study you, not out of envy, but out of curiosity, because they'll want to know, how did someone who was once overlooked now become the one we're all looking at? The answer won't be found in shortcuts or formulas. It'll be found in alignment, in surrender, in the quiet mastery of your own spirit. Your story is living proof that elevation doesn't come from ego. It comes from endurance, from patience, from passing tests no one saw but you. And that's what gives you your edge, not just what you've built, but who you become in the process. That's why your rise feels different. It's not noisy. It's not desperate. It's not chaotic. It's solid, quietly rooted in something deeper than trends, deeper than status, rooted in truth. And that truth now speaks through your walk, through your eyes, through your aura. You don't even have to say much anymore. People can feel what you carry. They feel the fire that didn't consume you, but refined you. They feel the pain that didn't break you, but birthed you. They feel the stillness that was forged through storms. And they're drawn to it, not because it's shiny, but because it's sacred. So let the stage adjust. Let the lights recalibrate. Let the world make room. Because what's coming next isn't just about recognition. It's about responsibility. You're being seen so that you can lead. You're being elevated so that others can believe. Your presence is now a signal, a frequency, a shift. And wherever you go, the energy goes with you. The room changes, the pace changes, the story changes, and it all begins with you. There's a certain silence that follows greatness before the world catches up. You've lived in that silence for a long time, building when no one was watching, healing when no one was listening, growing when no one was applauding. You didn't do it for recognition. You did it because your soul wouldn't let you settle for less. You felt it, didn't you? That inner pressure, that pull to prepare for something greater, even when it didn't make sense, even when people looked at you and said, "Why are you trying so hard?" No one's watching. But you knew something they didn't. The audience was never your fuel. Purpose was. And now the show has begun. Not the performance, but the reveal. Not the noise, but the resonance. The unveiling of someone who's not just ready, but necessary. Your presence has become medicine. For those stuck in confusion, you bring clarity. For those numbed by superficiality, you bring depth. For those lost in the noise, you are the pause. You don't just shine, you stabilize. You don't just walk into spaces, you transform them. You don't just inspire, you activate. That's the part they never saw coming. That this wasn't about a spotlight. It was about impact. It was about stepping into a role that was written into your DNA long before anyone believed in you. It was about becoming the one who not only shifts the atmosphere, but anchors it. That's what it means to steal the show. Not to entertain, but to awaken. Not to impress, but to leave a lasting echo of truth. And with this level of influence comes discernment. Not everyone who claps is in your corner. Not every opportunity is a doorway. You're being trusted now, not just with attention, but with power. And power requires purity. Power requires clarity. Power requires solitude. The higher you go, the more sacred your space must become. You can't carry everyone with you. You can't explain your every move. You can't keep stopping to convince people who were never meant to understand your mission. This is a new level, and with it comes new assignments, new environments, new responsibilities, and yes, new resistance. The show you're about to steal is not a performance. It's a revelation, and revelations shake things. They stir what's been dormant. They unsettle what's been hidden. And as you rise, you will be challenged not to destroy you, but to refine you even further, to keep you aligned, to keep your fire clean, to keep your steps ordered. You are becoming the evidence that someone can walk in their calling without selling out, that someone can be elevated without ego, that someone can be powerful without being prideful. You are proof that destiny doesn't require spectacle, only surrender. And because you surrendered, you are being trusted. Doors are opening not because you forced them, but because the vibration of your spirit is the key. That's the kind of power that can't be taken. It can't be faked. It can't be copied. And yet, you remain grounded. That's the miracle. That after everything you survived, after everything you've endured, you still have your heart. You still have your integrity. You still have your peace. You're not bitter. You're not guarded. You're not cold. You're clear. And that clarity is why you will continue to rise, not in spurts, but in sustained ascension, because the foundation is pure, because the calling is real, because the mission is eternal. They thought you wanted attention, but all you ever wanted was alignment. And now that you've found it, everything is moving into place, not because you shouted, but because you listened, not because you demanded, but because you trusted, not because you performed, but because you became. This is what it looks like when someone becomes the main character of their own story, not by ego, but by evolution. The script has flipped. The curtain is open. The room is full. And every eye is on you. There's a shift in the room when you walk in now. It's not something you announce. It's not something you exaggerate. It just happens because your presence is no longer a whisper. It's a wave. Not loud, but undeniable. Not aggressive, but commanding. People feel it. They feel the alignment in your tone, the weight in your silence, the depth in your gaze. They know something is different. They know they're in the presence of someone who didn't just rise. They transformed. And transformation, when real, speaks before you do. You're no longer someone trying to make an entrance. You are the entrance. You're not someone waiting for permission to be seen. You've realized you were always meant to be watched, studied, followed, not for fame, but for the light you carry. And a light isn't just glow, it's fire. The fire of someone who's walked through pain, betrayal, silence, failure, and chose not to let it turn them bitter. That's what people can't look away from. Not just your rise, but your resilience. And that resilience, it has become your crown. It's invisible, yes, but it's there. You wear it in the way you move. Intentional, steady, elevated. You wear it in the way you don't react to chaos the way you used to. You no longer need to be loud to be heard. You no longer need to prove what you already know. You found peace in knowing that you are not for everyone, but you are perfect for your purpose. And that purpose is what's pulling people to you like gravity. The ones who once dismissed, you are quietly watching now, not because they've changed, but because you have, and your glow has become impossible to deny. They see it in your posture, your glow, your momentum. They don't know how to explain it, but they feel it. You were never average. You were just hidden. You were never small. You were just sacred. And now, that sacredness is shining, not as a show, but as a signal, a sign that the Real has returned, that the age of authenticity is here. You see, stealing the show doesn't mean taking the spotlight. It means becoming the reason people realize what the spotlight is really for. It's not for ego. It's not for noise. It's not for validation. It's for truth, for alignment, for calling. And you, chosen one, carry all that without even trying. That's what shocks them the most. You didn't force this moment. You didn't demand it. You just became so aligned, so attuned, so whole that the moment had to find you. And now, the ones who were chosen by systems are being outshined by the ones chosen by spirit. That's you. You weren't appointed by people. You were anointed by pressure. You weren't promoted by popularity. You were elevated by pain. You were called not because you wanted the attention, but because the message needed a vessel. You said yes in private, and now heaven is responding in public. That's what this show-stealing season is. Not applause, but evidence that your yes mattered, that your patience mattered, that your silence was sacred. You didn't come for the stage. You came for the shift. And now that shift is happening. Through you, your words are echoing. Your energy is transforming. Your courage is contagious. And everywhere you go, things are changing. Not because you want the credit, but because you become the catalyst. A living example of what it means to glow without guilt, to lead without ego, to shine without shrinking. This is the moment the world meets the version of you that was forged, not formed, that was carved out in storms, that was stretched in silence, that was sculpted by solitude, And this version? They can't unsee it. They can't unfeel it. They can't undo it. You become too magnetic to mute, too rooted to move, too refined to be replaced. Let them take it in. Let them feel it. Because this isn't just your moment. This is your becoming. And it's only the beginning. And now, as the curtain begins to close on this chapter, one thing is clear. You didn't just steal the show. You became the show. Not for applause, not for ego, but because your presence was always the message. All along, your becoming was a performance. Your healing was the script. Your rise was the climax. And those who once overlooked you will remember this moment. Not because you asked them to, but because it was impossible to forget. So walk forward now. No more shrinking. No more second guessing. No more waiting for the world to catch up. You're not just ready. You're here. And everything that tried to dim you only made you shine brighter. This is your stage. This is your time. And the world isn't just watching. They're finally listening. The show belongs to you now. Take a bow, chosen one.